Welcome to another Starseed Activations episode. Welcome, everyone. So, today we are going to be discussing several very interesting topics on ascension and how we can activate extrasensory abilities. Now, good morning, Nancy. Welcome, welcome. The first question that we had come into our studio is how do we activate magician codes? Now, I actually have a post on Facebook. Magician codes and how to activate them. And so a magician code is similar to the extrasensory activities that we each engage in every single day. Now, the extrasensory abilities are granting access to change the physical reality only using the power of the psyche. Now, this gets very interesting to me personally because when we start to unlock the extrasensory abilities, it shall allow each individual to regain control over the holographic simulation to such a degree in which instantaneous manifestation shall start to come into their physical reality. Now, when we say it starts, that is a baby step process. And so you may go outside and you may hold an emotion code, and that emotion code may be grounded into the earth frequency. You may be sick. You may have anxiety. You may have stress. You may have attachments. Whatever the situation that you each are walking through, that's okay too. What we want to do is we want to just release resistance, go outside a little bit, ground into nature, allow the sun to wash over you. And the magician codes, how does it feel like to be a magician? So each and every one of us, we have to activate our childlike minds. That activates the solar plexus. When we activate the solar plexus, we dive in deep, we do an inner child healing. When we do all these things, it actually starts to activate our creative geniuses because each and every person on the planet is encoded with genius. Even the people who we would consider disabled, it is not a disability, it's just a perception shift. And they are able to see into other realities in which most everyday people can't see into. Now, when we start to talk about things of that nature, it leads us down different paths of manifestation because many different things can be explored when we start diving into the psyche, diving into the subconscious mind, seeing all time, all space, seeing all potentials. All of these things are real. Each and every one of us, we live in a multiverse. That multiverse is all these different potentials readily available for manifestation in the now moment. Now, when we start to choose and select what it is that we want to consciously place our focus on, that is how we manifest. We know this is basic because now everyone is manifesting on some level or another. But what I'm telling you guys is when you start to hold an emotion code, when you know and you believe inside your body, mind, spirit complex that there are crystalline DNA strands waiting for us to activate. Now, we've been told our entire lives that this is a junk DNA. This junk DNA, if we place our focus and attention on just the junk DNA and we do things like mantras or manifestations every single day where we say, thank you, source frequency, for unlocking and fully activating my crystalline DNA strands, allowing me to activate and unlock my extrasensory abilities to the 365th degree. There's 365 extrasensory abilities encoded into the human DNA strands. So 365 is what we're shooting for right now. That's the ones that we can see. Those are the light encoded frequencies. It allows light to manifest in the physical reality. There's another set of 365. The star people are stepping forward right now saying the 365 are encoded in the dark matter frequency bandwidth as well. Now, because there's two different sets of extrasensory abilities, of course, one is a push and one is a pull. And they're saying that when we start to utilize it, it ends up like two sets of magnets, a north polarity and a south polarity, which allows us access to do different manifestations in the physical reality. This is also how we can start to utilize some anti-gravity in the biological form. So your biological form gravity is directly controlled by your void space. Your void space, there is a Kundalini channel that goes directly down the center tube. That center tube is light surrounded by darkness. This is how gravity is controlled in the biological form, the star people are saying. So when we start to dive in deep, the 0 point is directly in the middle of the heart chakra. Now that is connected to this light channel. It's a Kundalini channel that's in the direct center of the body. Now we see it as one solid tube, but in reality, it's 3 different frequencies radiating down in a spiral form. So everything goes in a vortex energetic, the star people are saying. And when we recognize that this is a vortex coming down, we can control not only gravity, levity, but also time and space. This all gets controlled by going into the heart chakra. So opening and expanding your heart is key. Doing meditations, your meditations, I say this all the time. Your meditations do not have to be for hours and hours. Yes, it is wonderful to dive in deep and do great deep meditations where you really can astral project or you can remote view things. But even remote viewing, you could be sitting behind a desk. You could tune yourself out and sit with a pen and paper and you can come and get answers. That's remote viewing. What I'm telling you guys is just stop what you're doing right now and take a nice deep breath in and release. How does your body feel? Let your body go loose. Just allow yourself to sink back into whatever chair you're in. Don't do it when you're driving, but just allow your body to go loose. And now think of something that you love. Think of the number one happiest, joyfulest experience in your entire life. Now just hold that emotion, hold that memory. How does that memory reflect into your physical body? How does your body feel? Can you feel it? Because your heart should open a tiny bit or even a lot, depending on the person, but it should open the heart chakra. More energy should flow out the front of you. Now, they're bringing my attention to Peter Pan. And so it's so funny. They do this with the movie. So Peter Pan was told, if you want to fly, you have to think happy thoughts. Well, it was a frequency. That's because he was tuning into the 0 point. He was unlocking, opening the heart chakra, sending love and light, and that happiness allowed him access to the gravity, levity frequency wave. Now, most of the times, as a human being in a physical world, this isn't a cartoon. So we have to start baby steps. We start by doing the meditation, by dropping in, by feeling the heart. Now, how does it feel to jump?
Here's what I found.
We all know what gravity and levity feels like because each and every one of us, we've jumped off of things before. So you feel that feeling of going up, and then there's like a split second where you're in between falling and jumping, and then all of a sudden the gravity comes down. So in that split second in between, that's what the 0 point feels like. Now, this is very important because when we start to recognize, oh, okay, that split second feeling, it's kind of like a neutrality, the star people are saying. So hold that emotion code because every single feeling is an emotion code. Hold the emotion code of that neutrality. That's the 0 point. When we start to do this over and over again, it actually gives us access into time and space as well, because time and space has a direct impact by gravity. They are directly controlled. It is kind of like if you saw a net and the net had a bunch of square lines like this, like the meridians and the ley lines, then all of a sudden we're picking and choosing which line to coexist on. Now, gravity and levity and time and space, it's 2 X's combined. And they're showing me it goes in circles and it goes in different directions. So one is this way and the other is this way, but they're side by side together. And then when you take them and you spin them, it forms anti-gravity, which is similar to what the Earth frequency waves around the Earth is currently doing right now. It generates a form of rainbow light, which can be seen as the human consciousness grids or the light bandwidth or grid structure around your planetary body. You can see this from space, they are saying. Now, when we can recognize that our body is a reflection of every single thing in the physical world, it does not matter what the item is, it does not matter if it's plant-based, if it's something like a pen, None of that matters. It's all connected. The only thing that really matters is that we start to go inside, we do the shadow work, we start to heal. When we start to heal, we raise our frequency. When we raise our frequency, then we can start to feel, because many of us have so many attachments latched onto us that we are unable to feel the full effect of light. Now, what does that mean? Many times we put a heart shade up. That heart shade blocks the heart so that we can't express love to a higher degree. Now, when we start doing the shadow work, we remove the shade, you can feel more love. This is how the energetic grids work. Because when we start to remove all the shades, it allows us to broadcast more love into the simulation. Because the entire world outside of us that we see, physics shows us that it is a holographic simulation of sorts. We'll keep it there. This way we keep ourselves grounded in the physical world until we're able to overcome the physicality of it. Each and every one of us can tune into 5D right now. There's no need to wait for a solar flash. We all have the potential to access it. Many of us, we access it during certain solar energetic shifts, like the Lionsgate portal. The Lionsgate portal triggered all of us to release something. And then we started seeing the new moon, which was bringing in new energies, which was absolutely wonderful, because that is a perfect explanation of what is actually happening in our physical reality today. We're still releasing and bringing in new. Now, when we go through this process, how does that make you feel? How does it make you guys feel to release and receive? We've been doing this process our entire lives. We're just doing it unconsciously because we're unaware that there are cycle repeats. Nobody really pays attention because the primary cycle repeats is wake up, go to work, pay your bills, get your food, yada, yada. We don't have to do that anymore, because when we start to zero in on the now moment, it changes every single thing in our life. Because now, instead of worrying about the future, worrying about things that haven't happened yet, it allows us to rebalance ourselves in this moment. We activate our childlike minds. So just for one moment, just tell yourself magic is real. Just tell yourself that. See how it makes your body feel. If your heart jumps for joy, you know that you're on the ascension timeline. Now, most people, we've all watched superhero movies, and they have, boom, exploded. Where, take a look at Marvel. Those are like the #1 movies that people watch, because people, your psyche is interested in extrasensory abilities as well as space travel. Space travel is very important. This is another reason why Star Wars was very, very popular, even at an early level consciousness, because those movies came out ages ago and people were always interested in them. And that is because the way the human brain is wired, it is wired to seek who are we, what are we doing, and where are we going. We are designed this way to look, to be expansive. You're not supposed to get stagnant. We're not supposed to get stuck in these cycle repeats. That is not what humanity was created for. We were created to look inside, to figure out, remember who it is that we are. Each and every one of us has to do this. It's a baby step process. Don't be too hard on yourself. It's okay to do it slow. And it's okay to dive in deep, to mess it up, and to reorganize it. That's okay too. It is okay to just have the experience that you are having, because this morning we all woke up here in this reality. Each and every one of us woke up. We opened our eyes. Within the first 10 to 15 minutes, all of the memories of everything that's ever happened to us in our life, it comes flooding back into our psyche. Now, who's to say that time and space, it's like an illusion. And so all time and all space is happening right here in the current moment, which is the reason why we can have a very happy, blissful moment, and then all of a sudden time seems to fly, because it's only a perception of time and space. Your biological frequency is controlling it. So your memory grid is not 100% solid. When we start to talk about the memory grid complex, the memory grid complex can be changed, it can be modified, which then in turn is going to shift the individual reality you are currently in alignment with. Now, what that means is, you've ever seen an individual who remembers an experience that you may have had with him completely different, and you swear up and down that guy's crazy because he remembers it totally different. Well, now 10 years goes by, he still remembers it different. In his world, in his reality, that's how he or she remembers that memory. But what happens is their perception has shifted. And it has led them into a world in which it never happened, or it did happen, depending on what they believe in. This is how the memory works. Now, each and every one of us, we can have a look when we start to see things like car accidents. 5 people can witness the same exact car accident, and they can all have a different viewpoint of that accident. Now, we have different areas of the brain, different aspects of the consciousness as well, as star people are saying, which allows us to see different fragments of the simulation. Now, what that means is your conscious focus and attention, you can either focus on the pen, or you can either focus on the entire backdrop of the video. The choice is yours. Now, but it doesn't end there. You could focus on not seeing the entire video. You can just listen to the video. That's a different sense. So each different sense, each different perception grants the person a different viewpoint. Each and every one of us is different because we are having different viewpoints. That's the experience. Now, the experience also teaches us that we're all reflections of one another. So 9 times out of 10, when I'm going through a problem, you guys are going through the same exact problem. And then we magnetize to each other. And so I see this over and over with all of the online people that I speak with. I'll be going through something, and then 10, 20 other people are having the same exact thing in their life, in their realities. And then I'm like, well, you guys are on my consciousness grids, and we've magnetically attuned into one another. And so we're meant to talk about these perceptions, right? I'm going through it. This is what I see. What do you see? Okay, that's what you guys see. We come together as a tribe. Now, all of a sudden, it allows the 12 points of each expression to come together as a Merkaba field. When 12 points of expression come together, it allows that experiential to be healed for the entire human consciousness grid structure, is what the star people are saying. Now, what that means, just imagine for one moment, we have 12 zodiac signs. Plus 1 is 13. You are the primary, so you are the plus 1. And then there's another 12. So you have, most of the times, you have the primary person, and then you have 12 of the zodiac surrounding that person. And then it allows for all of those different viewpoints to be manifest. Many times we don't realize that this is what is happening because these different people with the different zodiacs, they'll just be around us. We won't see it. And they can change, the star people are saying. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the same one. So let's say, for an example, your mother's was an Aries, and then you stopped hanging out with her, so you had a different Aries show up. It's the same energy. It's the same zodiac. And so you need to have different experiences with different people, but it has to have the zodiac alignment to it because each perception is going to be a different viewpoint according to the zodiac alignments that the individual has in their charts. Each and every one of us has a binary codex frequency. That binary codex frequency, it's a numerological patterning that describes not only who you are, your personality, but it makes up your physical form. That binary codex describes the hair color, the eye color, the physical form, as well as any personality grid complexes. Now, your primary binary codex is from the moment of birth. There's a flash of light when conception happens. That flash of light, if recorded, that's the binary codex frequency of the person. That is the divine blueprint of the soul form that is about to manifest into the physical body, into the 3D reality. I know that's very wordy and that's a lot. That's what the star people are telling us, though. Now, when we understand that this is the binary codex frequency, that means that we can start to pull that frequency, and then we can start to feel. We can do this. They're showing me we can do this with the physical form. So what we do is we close the eyes and just imagine and visualize, because just imagining and visualization is going to allow you to pull at your memory grid complex, which shall allow the individual to see or sense or to come into a harmonic frequency with the individual's binary codex. Now, the second that you understand how that flash of light feels, how did your soul form feel during the moment of conception? How did it feel? How did it feel to drop into the physical world? How did that spark of light? That's you. That's me. We're sparks of light. How did that spark of light feel during that moment of 3D conception? When you can feel the emotional frequency of that spark of light, then you can start to feel that and you can cast it into your body. Now, this is of high value because let's say, for an example, you have something funny going on with you, like allergy season. And so the allergies you may have had it your entire life. Well, you can drop into the meditation. You can pull that binary codex frequency. You can rub your hands together. You can clap it 3 times, get your chi energetics going, and then you can cast that binary codex frequency back into your body. When you start to do this, it doesn't matter if it takes you 100 times. It doesn't matter if you have to sit there and you have to do this for 8 hours. You only have to get it correct once. Because if you get it correct once, your physical form, which is not physical at all, it's a light wave, it's a frequency. The atoms and molecules are under a state of frequency, which means that our mind can change the frequency code. So all you have to do is you energetically cast your binary codex frequency into your body, and then all of a sudden your cells go, oh, I remember what it feels like to be that frequency. Let me start to anti-age the body. Let me start to increase the light structure or the oxygen levels or your pH levels. Your pH levels controls the voltage that goes into all of the cells. So you can start to say things over your water. Thank you, water, for balancing my pH levels. I love and I bless you, water. Now, we can't see anything with our naked eyes, but if you actually took the water and you froze it, you can see a sacred geometry snowflake encoded into that water. So that right there is one way that we can scientifically prove that our thoughts, feelings, and emotions, when we energetically cast them, it has a real effect on the physical reality as we see it. So the second that we can scientifically prove something, then we want to start taking it up a level. Now we take it to the plants. If you take a plant and you cast your thoughts, feelings, and emotion at the plant, what happens? We know this one too. The plant starts growing 10 times the original size, which is wonderful because now we can see how our energy casts at different plants and we can see it having a real physical effect. Now, sunflowers do this automatically because when it's rainy out or there's no sun, the sunflowers, they turn and they face each other because they are passing light ions back and forth. So the sunflowers do this too. Now, certain plants have photoreceptors, so they're actually able to see. So certain plants can see when a person is coming over, they see you. Like we see, the plant can see. Who knew? It's like mind blown. Now, who's to say that on different planets, they don't have plants that can do the same thing? Like a Venus flytrap, maybe it's really big. Maybe it has the photoreceptors. Maybe it can see. We have to explore these different types of realms. The safe way of doing exploration is by doing astral projection. So you're leaving your body behind at home where you are nice and safe. You can pull your consciousness out and you can cast your consciousness up and across the solar system so that you can go and you can see everything. Now, that's only one type of experience because there's a whole different psychedelic experience that gives you access into the multidimensional nature of humanity in which you can start to see or perceive or sense other realms. Other realms have different light wave frequencies, so the color spectrum may look a tiny bit different. It may look cartooned or bubbled. Now, sometimes an individual consciousness slipstream, which is what each person is, but it's not only the person, it's also the plants, the rocks, the animals, is an individual slipstream. When we start to speak about an individual slipstream, it allows for that individual slipstream to become aware that it is not only connected up to the light, but also down into the dark octaves. Now, this is very important because when we speak on the dark octaves, we start to know that dark matter is, and always will be, a piece, a part, a fractalized light essence of what it is to be a human. Now, all light is created in darkness. The human brain is encased in darkness, and yet it holds lights because when we trigger a brainwave, that brainwave is electrical in its nature. That electricity is a thought pattern. That thought pattern is giving you the perception of whatever it is that you are seeing or sensing in the physical reality. Now, that darkness, most of the times we speak about casting the darkness down. We ground deep into Mother Earth. We allow her to pull the darkness out of our body. What she's actually doing is she's taking that dark matter Kundalini channel and she's rebalancing it for us. And this, it's like dark and light is together. And so it allows this type of two-way to happen in that Kundalini channel. Now, many of us, many individuals have had an experience of a Kundalini awakening. Many times this happens during dark times in our life, very dark times, right? We go through the thick of it, and then all of a sudden it's like the Kundalini naturally awakens in us. That's how you also know that you're on the path of evolution, because the Kundalini will choose you to just awaken spontaneously. Now, when we start to feel that Kundalini awakening is the left and right channels. This is not the same as the center channel. Many times we feel it, it's doing this, which is the same exact symbol that the medical professionals shall use. They use the two snakes intertwined left and right, goes all the way up. It kind of resembles a DNA strand. Now, those are the two Kundalini side-by-side channels that are primary. Whenever we start to do meditations, we may feel energy pulling up the body, and you may actually feel it on the top of your head, like someone is actually putting a hand there. That is wonderful. That also is a sign that you are generating cohesion in the brainwave patternings between the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere. Now, when we start to do that, it actually allows us to tune into a higher frequency bandwidth, which gives us access into greater insights, greater knowledge. There is a way for us to stay in that form of meditation all day long. So the first thing that we do when we wake up is we drop into the heart space. So you open your eyes and think 3 things that you are happy and grateful for. Every single morning, try and make this a mantra. What are you happy and grateful for? It does not matter if you are going through turbulence, the star people are saying. Just take your time and just find 3 things that make you smile. Find 3 things that bring you joy. Now, what you're actually doing is you want to focus on the heart and you want to focus on your pineal gland while you're doing this. When you place focus, you're bringing that energy out of the physical form. So it can come out both chakras at one time. It can even come out the top chakra. That's what I do for me, is I do the heart chakra, I do the pineal, and I do the top, the crown chakra. Now, when you start to activate all of these different chakras, you come inside and you think happy and positive, loving thoughts. It starts to synchronize the pineal gland with the heart. So you're forming cohesion, but then you're also forming cohesion left and right hemisphere. So it kind of resembles a cross. Dun, 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 dun. Now, once we recognize, oh, okay, these are light tubules. These are channels of energy that's in the physical form. They can be seen with different types of technology that will grant us a photography. So humanity's technology can see this. When we start to recognize that we have different light tubules or light channels inside of the body, now we want to see how they are all connected, and we want to see how we can go about rebalancing them. So the first way is to take a look at any behavior patterns. Your behavior patterns are going to dictate what energetic blockages you have. Let's take, for an example, any behavior pattern. We'll take the over drinking. So someone who drinks a lot all day long, the drinking is associated with the kidneys and the urinary tract systems, as well as the sacral chakra. I use this one all the time because this is a classic me. I did this for a very long time. It is caused by fears. Now, a lot of times the sacral chakra is pertaining to social fears, fears with the people around you. So when we start to recognize this, that's a behavior pattern. That behavior pattern is latched into a primary chakra, which are the color chakras, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. These are all different chakras in the body. So now we can start to identify, okay, in this system, right, we expand that grid. This system contains the energy blockage because it's changing or modifying the behavior patterns of the person. And then we start to dive in a little bit deeper. How does it make you feel? What area is it in? You can ask the person this information and then they could tell you, oh, we're having issues here, here, and here. Or if the person doesn't know that they're even having an issue, they just over drink and over urinate a lot, you can dive in, close your eye, and you can pull apart the energetic grid and you can see with your astral eyes. When you start seeing it with your astral eyes, it allows you to see darkness in the grid. Any darkness in the front of the grid are troubles or traumas that are currently being explored, the star people are saying. So what that looks like is it's a current problem if it's in the front of the body. If it's in the back of the body, it's something from their past, from their childhood. Now, once again, it could be in the back, but it could be in the left or it could be in the right. And so whichever way it is, the left-hand side is your feminine energetics. The right-hand side is your masculine energetics. Now, the masculine energetics is your chi energetic system. So if you guys ever notice that you're having an issue with light bulbs, let's say your light bulbs burn out or you're having electrical problems around your house, that means your masculine energy, your chi energy is imbalanced. For that, I would definitely try having a good look at your pH levels and your water. What kind of water are you drinking? Are you guys drinking water from a natural spring or is it coming from a bottle? So we always want to have a look at these different types of things. And then blessing, loving, and purification of the water. So if you can add a vortex spin onto it, it actually adds life into the water. Now, if you start doing things like taking the water, holding it up to your heart, and casting, I love and bless you, water. Thank you, water, for healing my pH systems. Then all of a sudden, you may notice that you drink it and those electrical imbalances in your life will start to naturally heal itself. You may fix the electrical problem in your house, whatever it is, it will heal. If you've been seeing in the feminine energetics, you're going to have more water-based or emotional imbalances. Now, what that looks like is if you have any sort of plumbing or pipes burst, any water leaks in the home, that's always going to be from the magnetics. So the simple thing to do for the magnetics is to get a magnet. Get a magnet, and if you could do two magnets, one is the north positive polarity, one is the south negative polarity, and just start whooshing them over your entire body. Now, if you can have a friend help you with the magnets, that's key, because we can't really reach the full spinal cord by ourselves sometimes. So if you take the magnet from your chin directly up over the head, down the spinal cord at least 10 times, it's going to really allow any trapped emotions that are in the primary chakras to be released. Now, the primary chakras, once again, these are the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, the primary color chakras. We have a star field. The star field is your life experiential field. It is surrounding the body. Each one of our experiences is tuned into an energetic node on this field. That energetic field is directly connected to your grids, and it is where the grids make the ley line and the meridian line cross over. That little circle there is an energy node. Each one of those nodes contain our experiences. This is how the memory grid complex radiates out. Now, each one of these experiential nodes has not only the memory, but it's the emotion, the thought, the feeling, the time and space, the location coding, all this different information is encoded into there. They become blocked. When they become blocked, it means that we had an experience that generated a trauma that blocked up the energetic node. When that happens, it's okay. It just means that we have to go through, we have to feel into the space outside of our body. How does it make you feel? Is when you lift your arm here, is there any tension and tightness to put your hand there? Is it hot? Is it cold? Is there any tingles? All of this is information. We don't see it as information because we just see it as I put my hand up. Very simple. But the second that you close your eyes, take a deep breath in, you do it and you feel. How does your body feel now? And then do your hand up here, and then how does it feel? Did you feel someone touch your hand? Now, when you put your hand like this, you can feel the heat, you can feel the tingles. So how does it feel when you touch your grid? Different traumas are going to generate different emotional feelings. Different feelings, your emotions is how we manifest into the physical reality. So different emotional expressions are going to activate extrasensory abilities. The extrasensory abilities can be anything from manifesting different weather patternings, summoning lightning, moving matter with your mind, anti-gravity levity, instantaneous teleportation, sense of trauma, a sense of bliss frequency. We can sense when the angels are around. This is what the star people are saying now, because we always speak about trauma coding. Trauma coding happens and time space seems to slow. And then it's a notification to the primary individual that trauma is coming. It's going to be manifest. However, speaking of bliss frequencies, sometimes you may walk into a location code. That location code may make your energetic grids shen or shine. When it makes you shine bright, it allows for you to know that there are higher frequential beings in your particular location. When this happens, you may start to notice things like orbs. You may notice flashes of light come on the side of your eyes. You may even open your eyes and you may see angels right in front of you. Now, different high frequential beings, they look differently. There's different types. There's many different types. They never look the same. And then we have ones that don't have a body. They are just simply made of ether. And so they just have to accept a 3D reality image in order to cast energetically down into 3D to make that physical, like you could see them. They can make physical contact and communication with us. Now, many times, and just hold on one second. I feel someone has a throat chakra blockage. I can feel it. If anybody has a throat chakra blockage, everyone just take a nice deep breath in and release. Just ever so gently. Imagine and visualize a bright blue bubble fully surrounding your biological form. This bright blue ball of color is going to energetically be encoded to heal each and every individual watching this particular video and heal the throat chakra of all people involved in this transmission. We know who each of you are. Just ever so gently allow that blue coloring to shrink down, and just ever so gently allow it to go right into your throat chakra, releasing any tension, any tightness, releasing any density, any darkness, and just rebalancing it to your original source frequency coding. And that is with many love and blessings, the star people. And so now we just take a nice deep breath in and release. Excellent. Let me take a sip. You saw a flashlight on the screen just now? I closed my eyes. Hopefully it's on the replay. So much fun. Sometimes the orbs show up, all sorts of things. Now, when we start to talk about the angelic realms, the higher frequential beings, we are able to see them if they allow it. Now, many times they'll take on a form. That form has to be a 3-dimensional space. It has to be length times width times height so that you can see and sense them in the 3D reality and that they blend in with the physics of the 3D world. So when this happens, many times they'll come to us and we won't know that they're angels. We won't know that they're higher frequential beings. And they'll come to us and they'll look like homeless people. And this is like a test or trial or tribulation. Are you going to help them? Are you going to feed them? Are you going to be nice? Are you going to open your heart to them? When we start to walk around with an open heart all day, every day, it allows us to raise our frequency to such a point where these higher frequential beings will start dropping into our reality to do these tiny little tests on us to see if we're ready for them to help us ascend. This is wonderful. Now, this puts a whole new spin on life and the way we see things and the way we do things, because it's okay to be kind to your neighbor. It's okay to shine brightly, and it's okay to be authentic to your true self. You guys are here to be authentic to yourself, to be real with yourself, to release all the traumas, all the emotions, all the tragedies that we have walked, and to shine bright. It doesn't matter what you look like. It's still there. Somebody still has the throat chakra. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter what battle wounds you are carrying. When we start coming together as a team, as unity consciousness, and as one tribe, we start to heal each other. And we don't do it for money. We do it because we love each other. And this is what we actually do, the shadow work Zoom. So, right, Instagram and TikTok, you guys, I don't know if you know, I have a train. It likes to come around every couple of whatever minutes. But we do the shadow work Zoom. So at 8:30, we will be starting a Zoom. Anybody can come. It is 100% free, complimentary. Just come, and then what we do is we clear out the energetic grids. Sometimes we do attachments. I let the star people guide the entire thing. You guys can go to daniellelipton.com. There's a little icon to send me a message, and I will just send you the Zoom link. No questions asked. Guys can come in, and you can just sit and listen. That's fine too. Now, during the shadow work Zooms, as well as during the lives, the star people come in and they do energetic clearings on all of us. They know who we are. And they come in, and it's amazing. So each and every one of us has a rep. This is important to know because that rep, he wants or she wants to engage with you. She wants or he wants to come in and allow you to ask questions, make contact, communication with them. They're here to help us. They are here to assist us, to evolve us. They will assist us. They can't do it for us because we have free will. But the more and more each and every one of us talk to them, we say, thank you guys for helping us with all the earth changes on the planet. Thank you for helping us to ease the blow so that we can learn the lessons that humanity needs to learn, but it can be a very smooth transition into 5D. It doesn't have to be doom and gloom. Thank you, star people, for helping us, for us to save our planet. So when we come and we start saying that to them, it actually allows them to come down, and it allows them to help us more and more because they can't override our free will. But if we ask them for help, they can help. That's okay. Now, we love the train. The train's always here every night. Okay. So this weekend, I am doing an in-person live channeling. This is going to be held in New York. It's going to be on 2 different days. So on Saturday at 4 p.m. and on Sunday at 4 p.m. Anybody who is local to the Long Island, New York area, please send me a message if you want to come. It will be absolutely fantastic and wonderful. I don't know what the star people are going to have us do. It's probably going to be some wonderful channeling, some attachment relieving or removal, and then some, there's just amazing stuff that comes flowing out, especially when I'm in people. So it's a totally different experience. Now, that is this weekend. I know it's short timing. The book release. This is very important because I know all of you guys have been waiting for this, but I just went on Amazon and I ordered the pre-copy. So I'm going to order the pre-copy. It should be here to my house in the mail. It's like the proof copy. You can just look at it and make sure it looks perfect. And then you click a button and then everyone can go and buy the book. So the book is done. It is finished. It is fully edited. And I actually spent the past 2 days adding images and re-editing. So it's just an amazing time right now, right? And this really could not have happened without all of you guys. This book is all of ours. It's not just mine. It's everybody who's been with me since the beginning. Because I had so many of you took the book copy. I mailed people the copies and they started editing. And then I started sitting down and putting it all together. And it really is an amazing journey to be on. So the book is coming and it's not going to take long. We're getting the proof copy. I'm going to read through it all, make sure it's good. And that's it. We're done. And then also I'm uploading it to Kindle. So what the book is, my Facebook people, you guys know because you read my posts, but I've been putting out posts for years now, since about 2019. These posts have been a collection of my ascension. And so whenever I would have a problem or I would see an experience in my world, or I would even see other people having problems, I would go back and I would ask the star people, why am I seeing this? Why? It's very important to ask why. I always ask why. Why is this happening? What can I do to solve this? Why am I manifesting this? Right? So by asking the why, it allowed them to gift me all of this beautiful information about the physical world that we live in, about how to evolve and overcome, why we see different experiences, why we see things over and over again. And then that's a cycle repeat. And this is how you transmutate it. And then how to access the extrasensory abilities and how to evolve into 5D. All of that information is in the book. And then some of the information, like you guys hear the way I talk, it's very technical and scientific. Some of the information is like, I can't believe it. It's amazing. So it's all written down. All of the information that I have on attachments, it's in the book. So if you guys want to know how to clear them, what to do with them, all the proper procedures and stuff, it's all in the book. My Facebook people, if you've been with me since the beginning, you can scroll down the Facebook profile because every single post is there. So the entire book is on the Facebook profile, but it's going to take time to scroll all the way down. But just get the book. It's $20, right? And then you have it and it's good read. Now that's coming. Weekend live session. And then, okay, someone had a question on the procedure for attachment removal. So that's the last question for tonight, because we have the shadow work Zoom. Is the NYC will be cast live? No, it's Long Island. So it's not really New York City. It's about 40 minutes, 45, maybe 50 minutes, because it's my friend's house, away from NYC. And so it's going to be very, very comfortable, very hands-on, one-on-one. I'm going to be all over you guys. It's so much fun. So, you never know. It's amazing. And when you get together in a group and you actually in each other's energy grids, there's so much information that comes from each other. And then the star people come down and the entire room gets filled with extraterrestrials. We just can't see them, but I know that they're here. And sometimes they pop. I've had people see my Starman on the live before. They were like, there was a big blue alien behind you, or extraterrestrial. They don't like the word alien. And he was holding up 2 fingers. And I'm like, oh, well, he has 3 fingers. He's Arcturian. And she's like, he was holding up 2. And what we do in all of our pictures, we throw the peace sign. So that's what he was doing. He was standing behind me throwing the peace sign, and she saw him. So it really is, it's beautiful. They fill the room, and a lot of times you can see them. Some people, they actually have their eyes open. And I don't mean that in a literal sense. I mean, some people can see your energy grids. They can see your aura field. It's all the same thing. So sometimes we can actually sit there and you can see the extraterrestrials latched onto you, or if they're helping you. You may have guides in your energy field, and so that happens. Some people can see the attachments. Different type of earth-based photography can view the attachments. Some of them look like demons. They're kind of scary. But fear there's nothing to fear but fear itself, right? The second that you tell it to get off and go home, it's like it gets off and it goes home. So we're more powerful. Yeah, I should come to California. Well, the star people did tell me that travel was going to be in the future. So I would be traveling around talking to people. Yes. And it's just going to be so much fun. So I hope you guys can come. Anyone who wants to come to the live seminars, just send me a message. If you want to come to tonight's Zoom, send me a message. Anyone who just wants to say hi, just send me a message. I like to talk to people. It's wonderful. So the last question, they wanted to know the proper procedure to remove attachments. Now, first and foremost, I have to always advise, before you go touching any attachments that are not your own, I would call in the star people. They will listen to you. They know who each of you are, and they keep tabs on all of us. The second you're on one of my videos, they're keeping tabs on you to make sure you're safe. That's all. They love us, and they are here to help us to grow and evolve. So I would call them in immediately, because I personally, when I started doing the attachments, I know you are pulling at emotion strings that other people have in their energy field. So what that means, and this was part of my journey to become an attachment removal professional, which I am. in time, it's like a whole side joke. I'm laughing with them. In time, you have to learn all of these dark emotion codes, all of them. When you do this type of work for people and for the public, you have to learn every single dark attachment emotion code. They had me sit down with a pen and paper, and they were like, "Are you ready?" And I was like, "I'm ready." And we went through one at a time all of these dark attachments and all the names. How does it make me feel? So you have to feel the darkness, the attachment. You have to feel the attachment. Well, what if the attachment's name is depression? You have to sit there and like, oh, right? And you feel it. Now you know the emotion code of how does that make you feel. Now you're powerful, because now when you come in someone else's energy field and you feel, oh, like that depression washes over you, you know it's not coming from you. You know it's coming from their field. So now all of a sudden you tell that attachment, get off and go home. So what happens? They'll feel something lift off for them a lot of the times. Like a weight was on their shoulder and it gets lift off. This is what it means to do attachment removals for people. The people will feel something, or you'll feel your throat chakra, right? You start coughing. That's because each and every one of us right now, and there's different platforms I have running, there's multiple platforms. It doesn't matter. It's all of us. We form one energetic grid. This one energetic grid connects all of us together. So as an attachment removal professional, I start to feel into your emotional imbalances and all of the traumas and the tribulation, all the stuff that's in your grids. I start to feel it. That's okay too, because so many times the star people are sending this light energy through, so it clears most of that stuff. But when when you feel something that needs to be cleared, it's because the channeler is supposed to be drawing attention to that clearing so that we can clear it for the entire group. That's why whenever I start to feel things now, I'm like, we're all going to stop and we're going to do the clearing together, because that means enough of you guys have the same attachment or the same emotional blockage. And so we clear it together as one tribe, because when we start to come together as one unity consciousness, we get very strong. We can change the world with the amount of people that we have in this live stream right now. We could change the entire physical reality. If I had enough time to sit here and to explain to you guys the ins and outs of how the physical reality is not physical at all, and it really is a holographic simulation, and if we can all truly unlock our belief systems to such a degree in which we all believe and we know that we are powerful, we are creators, we can change the external reality by changing the frequency inside of us. So that includes dropping into a meditation. Close your eyes. Meditation can just be for 2 seconds. It doesn't have to be for 10 minutes, 20 minutes. We can close our eyes and we can imagine. We can visualize. We can visualize a world that we want to see. What does it look like? What does it sense like? What do your children do in that world? Can they leave your house alone? Are they little kids? Can they walk outside? Is there going to be a car there? Or is there no cars anywhere and the humans are free to walk about the entire earth and not have to worry about any pollution and noise and cars and stuff, right? What does your world look like? What do you want to see in your future? So close your eyes and visualize that, and then allow it to go into your heart. Feel it radiate from the heart up, allowing it to come out that 0 point, up, out that light tubule, and send it to the higher self, and thank the higher self. Thank you, higher self, for allowing this visualization of the world we are experiencing to manifest in this way. And with that, you guys have a wonderful night. It's many, many love and blessings. I will see you guys at the Shadow Work soon. Have a great night. Okay. We did Facebook.